Good morning everyone. I hope you all are fit and healthy. So dear students, as you know that we have started the chapter that is anatomy of flowering plants. So in this chapter we will start with internal structure of root, and in the internal structure of root we will study about internal structure of dicot root as well as of monocot root. So first of all we will study the internal structure of dicot root. So before studying the details of dicot root, you should know that group of cells of similar common origin, they form tissue, and this tissue ultimately forms tissue system. So tissue system, it is composed of one or more kind of tissues. Then the tissue systems together they form organ, and number of organs they form organ system, and finally a plant body is made. So in tissue, in plants there is two types of tissues, that is meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Permanent tissue was further divided into two types, that is simple and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue consists of parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma cells, and complex permanent tissue is further made up of xylem and phloem. Tissue system, which consists of one or more kind of tissues. In plants there is three types of tissue system. First one is epidermal tissue system, then is ground tissue system, then the next one is vascular tissue system. So epidermal tissue system, it consists of outermost layer of the plant. So suppose this is the structure of root or stem. In this, the outermost layer of cell, that is epidermis, it will form the epidermal tissue system, and epidermal tissue system further consists of root hairs and trichomes. Root hair, they are the unicellular structures present in root, and trichomes, they may be unicellular or multicellular structure, and it is a characteristic of stem. So epidermal tissue system, it consists of epidermis, root hair and trichomes, and in between there is a vascular tissue system. This vascular tissue system, it consists of xylem and phloem. The role of xylem, you know that it is transport and minerals to the plant body, and the role of phloem is to transport the food prepared by the leaves to all parts of the plant. So in between epidermal tissue system and vascular tissue system there is a ground tissue system. So all the tissues excluding epidermis and vascular tissue, they form ground tissue system. I repeat, all the tissues excluding epidermis and vascular tissue, they form the ground tissue system. So let us again revise. In plants there are three types of tissue system. First one is epidermal tissue system, then is ground tissue system, and the third one is vascular tissue system. Epidermal tissue system basically consists of epidermis, root hair and trichomes, and it consists of continuous layer of cells which are compactly arranged. Then the vascular tissue system, it consists of xylem and phloem, and the ground tissue system consists of cells except epidermal tissue and vascular tissue. So ground tissue system, here we will study that there will be hypodermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle and pith. So this is about the tissue system. If we consider the organs in the plants are root, stem, leaf, flower, they all are the organs of a plant body. Then the organ system in plant are root system and shoot system. They make up the organ system in plants. And this is how finally a plant body is made. Another thing you should know before studying the internal structure of dicot root, you should know that vascular tissue system, which consists of xylem and phloem, together they are known as vascular bundles. So these are some of the points you should remember before studying the anatomy of dicot as well as monocot plants. So vascular tissue system, here you will remember that in root there is a radial arrangement of vascular bundles. Radial arrangement of vascular bundle means xylem and phloem, they are arranged in alternate manner on different radii. So xylem and phloem, they are arranged on different radius. As you are observing here, phloem is placed here and next to it xylem is observed. So they are on the different radius. And in stem, you will observe that there is a conjoint vascular bundles. So conjoint vascular bundle means the xylem and phloem, they are situated on the same radius. So as you are observing here, this is the phloem and this is the X represent xylem, and they are on the same radius So again I repeat, radial arrangement, it is observed in root, and conjoint vascular bundle, it is observed in stem. In radial arrangement of vascular bundle, xylem and phloem, they are arranged on different radius. As you are observing here, this is the phloem, this is the radius, and they are on the different radius. But in stem, you will find that there is a conjoint arrangement of vascular bundle. This means xylem and phloem, they are situated on the same radius. So this is the xylem and phloem, they are on the same radius in stem. Then another thing you should remember here is that the xylem, it is formed in two parts. First formed xylem is referred to as protoxylem, and second later formed xylem is referred to as metaxylem. And another thing you should remember before studying the anatomy of plants, in roots you will find that there is a exarch condition of vascular bundles. Exarch condition of xylem means the protoxylem which is formed first, it is present outside. However, the metaxylem means the later formed xylem is present inside. When we will study the internal structure of root and stem, you will find this exarch condition and endarch condition. So what does this mean in exarch condition in root? It means, as you are observing here, this is the phloem and let us assume this is the xylem. The first form xylem, that is protoxylem, it is present outside, and the later form xylem, that is known as metaxylem, it is present inside. Metaxylem. So exarch condition means the protoxylem, which is the first formed xylem, it is present outside, and the metaxylem, which is the later formed xylem, it is present inside. Then the next thing, exactly opposite to this exarch condition, there is endarch condition in stem. In endarch condition, you will observe that in protoxylem, that is the first formed xylem, it is present inside. However, the metaxylem, it is present outside. So let us assume you know that now here in stem there is a conjoint arrangement of vascular bundles. So let us assume this is the phloem, and then lies on the same radius there will be xylem. So xylem will be on the same radius. This is the xylem. And the first form xylem, that is known as protoxylem, it is in the inside. It is present inside, and this is protoxylem. However, the later form xylem, that is referred to as metaxylem, it is present outside. Metaxylem. These are some of the important points you should remember before studying the details of the anatomy of plants. So, let us see what we have studied. In roots, you should remember there is radial arrangement of vascular bundle, and in stem, when we will study the anatomy, you have to remember that there is a conjoint arrangement of vascular bundles in stem. Next important thing you should remember is that there is an exarch condition in roots, that is protoxylem, which is the first form xylem, it is present outside. However, the metaxylem is present inside. And endarch condition means protoxylem is present inside and metaxylem is present outside. So this exarch and endarch condition, it is basically based upon the presence of protoxylem, whether it is present inside or outside. On that basis, there is the term given, that is exarch and endarch. So exarch means outside. Exarch means outside, means protoxylem is present outside, and endarch means inside. So protoxylem means it is present inside. So you have to consider the condition presence of the protoxylem. You have to focus on protoxylem. If protoxylem is present inside, then it is endarch condition. When protoxylem is present outside, then it is exarch condition. Now let us see the anatomy or TS of dicot root. So in TS of dicot root, you will observe that there is the first one layer of cells, that is epidermis. So epidermis is present. There is the layer of cells that is known as epidermis. So this is the epidermis, and in epidermis the cells are compactly and closely arranged without any intercellular spaces. So the cells in epidermis, they are thin walled, they are closely spaced, and there is no intercellular spaces. So you can observe here in the epidermis there are cells that they are closely placed and there is no intercellular spaces. And epidermis of root is also known as pyliferous layer or epiblemma. Then next to it is cortex. So next to it is cortex, which forms the major part of the root body. So epidermis, then is the cortex. Cortex consists of several layers, as you are observing here, several layers of round or oval thin walled parenchyma cells, and here is the intercellular spaces present. So let us draw here also to understand it in a better way. This is the epidermis cell, epidermis layer, in which there is no intercellular space present. Then next to it is the cortex, which form the major root body, and here the cells are oval and there is intercellular space present. So intercellular space is present. Then next one is endodermis. Endodermis consists of barrel-shaped cells without any intercellular spaces. So next is the barrel-shaped cells without any intercellular spaces, which make up endodermis. So this is the endodermis. If you observe it carefully, this is the endodermis and the cells are barrel shaped and there is no intercellular space, and endodermis, they possess Casparian strips. So Casparian strips are present in endodermis. In endodermis, there is presence of Casparian strips. This means there is presence of suberin. So suberin is present in the endodermis, and this is known as Casparian strips. Then there are some cells which are without suberin, and they are known as passage cell. So whenever the water will pass from the epidermis or epiblema, which is also known as, it will pass through the intercellular spaces, then the Casparian strips, they will not allow the water to enter the further layers of cell. So the water will enter or pass through the passage cell, which is without Casparian strips or which is without suberin. So the water will enter from the passage cell. Then next to it is the pericycle, thin layer of parenchymatous cells. So parenchymatous cells, they formed pericycle. Immediately below the endodermis, there is a pericycle, and the cells are thin walled again and parenchymatous cells. So the pericycle is made up of again parenchymatous cell. As you know that parenchyma cells, they are living cells, and this parenchyma cells, they have the property and to give rise to lateral roots. Lateral roots and vascular cambium. Which will result in the secondary growth in these cells. Next to pericycle, there is the vascular bundle present. As you know, the vascular bundles in roots, they are in which condition? They are present in the radial arrangement. So there will be radial arrangement of vascular bundles, that is phloem and xylem, phloem and xylem, phloem and xylem, similarly phloem and xylem. Basically the radial number, the number of this vascular bundle is 2 to 4 in dicot root. So this is the phloem and this is the xylem. Next important thing which I have told you to remember in root was there is a exarch condition present. Exarch condition means in the xylem the outer one is protoxylem and the inner one is metaxylem. So in roots there is a radial arrangement of vascular bundle observed, and they are also observed in exarch condition. Then the next important cells that is present between the xylem and phloem is the conjunctive tissue. This conjunctive tissue, it basically consists of parenchyma cells. So conjunctive tissue is present between xylem and phloem, and it consists of parenchymatous cells. Then the next one is in between this, the central portion, it is known as pith. The pith in dicot root, it is very small. So this is about the internal structure of the dicot root. So let us again revise from this diagram. Here you are observing the outer layer of cells that is consisting of epidermis. Here in epidermis, which is also known as epiblema or pyliferous layer, the cells, they are compactly arranged and they have given rise to root hair also. Root hair are the unicellular structures, and then next to it is the cortex. The cortex makes the major part of the root body, and it consists of several oval or round shaped thin walled parenchymatous cells, and if you observe carefully, there is a intercellular space is present. Then the next one is endodermis. Endodermis, it is made up of barrel shaped cell, and there is a Casparian strip present in it. Casparian strip means suberin deposition is present here. Suberin, it is impervious to water, so it will not allow the water to pass to the inner cells. Therefore, there is another cell that is known as passage cell, which is without suberin deposition, that will allow the passage of water to enter into the inner cells. Then the pericycle is present. Pericycle, it consists of again thin-walled parenchymatous cells. This pericycle we will observe when we will discuss the secondary growth. These thin-walled parenchymatous cells which are present here in the pericycle, they will give rise to lateral roots and vascular cambium, due to which secondary growth in plants in root will be observed. So what do you mean by secondary growth? Secondary growth means increase in width, and primary growth means increase in length. Then the next one is vascular bundles. Now you know that vascular bundles in roots, they are present in which condition? They are present in exarch condition, and they are present on the alternate radii. So they show radial arrangement. And conjunctive tissue is present between xylem and phloem, which is consisting of parenchymatous cells. Again, next in the center you will observe pith. Pith is usually small, and or it may be completely absent. So this is the internal structure or TS of young dicot root. In the next video we will observe the monocot root, TS of the monocot root. So this is all for today. Take care everyone.